Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here. Come join me as my little boys and I adventure through our day. This is just kind of what a normal day looks like for the three of us after we drop the big kids off at school. So that was there, you saw before of my kitchen, and I am going to do a very quick tidy and clean of my kitchen. This morning was kind of rushed, and so my kids kind of left a mess. Usually I try to have them do their chores, which includes tidying up and putting things away and wiping things down before they go to school. But today we were rushed and we had to get off to school, but without doing our morning chores. So here I am, just doing a quick tidy up, clean up. My method is put everything in a pile and deal with the stuff that needs to get washed or put away later. So that's what I do with my sweeping. We left a mess full of sink dishes. But guys, look at the beautiful sunshine. I am trying to soak up every last bit of this beautiful sunshine before it turns to fall. Fall is my favorite. Fall is my absolute favorite, but oh, that warmth and sunshine in the summer. I love that it comes through my window on the east side of my house, and it's just so beautiful and glorious. Also, that is the window that I have sunflowers, and they're huge and bright and beautiful, and it's just one of my favorite parts of the end of summer is how the sunflowers look. Where I live, the sunflowers just grow wild on the side of the highways, and it is just so beautiful and reminds me of what a gift these plants are from our Heavenly Father, who just loves us so much that He gives these random, wild, beautiful gifts for us to enjoy. Today I woke up and decided, I'm going to deal with all these peaches today. We have peach trees. I got peach trees and apple trees and apricot trees and cherry trees for my birthday 5 years ago, and they are producing this year, at least the ones that are still alive. But we have tons of peaches, and they've been such a great blessing. My first batch I dehydrated, and my husband went and picked a batch, and he gave those away, all of them. A few bags full, just to neighbors and friends. And then my daughter went out and picked some more, and here I am with another sink full. That wasn't even all of them in the sink, but I showed you the way I cleaned my peaches, put them in some water. I added baking soda, which I didn't show you, and then I added the vinegar, and so there was a little bit of a chemical reaction to clean them off. It wasn't a big one because I did not put a lot of baking soda, but it was a great ratio, and it cleaned them, and it gets some of the peach fuzz off, which doesn't really matter here because I am blanching and peeling all of the peaches. And then there I am, just mashing them up. We're making peach jam today and canning them for the winter because I love the taste of fresh fruit from our own yard in the wintertime. And so I try to find different ways to preserve it. And this one is a different one that I haven't done yet this summer with any of my things. I didn't grow very much this year. My garden, it is our 7th year in this house, and I just felt like I needed a rest. And I read somewhere about resting your land in the 7th year, like God rested on the 7th day. And it just made so much sense to me this year, and I was naturally going to do it anyway. And then that just made me feel better about it, that I rested my garden. These came up on their own. I love having a small mini orchard that just produces, and it has been a blessing to have fresh fruit from our backyard. Now, this is just a tiny batch. I did one small pot, and it made about 5 or 6 jars, and one was left over. It was only half filled, so we're just going to eat off of that. It'll be great in yogurt. It is not just for jam. I used it for lunch today, and it was still runny. It hadn't set up. It takes time for it to set up. But it was still great on a sandwich. It still was very fresh and tasty. And I used the wholesome cane sugar. That's the organic cane sugar. Not because of anything special about it other than I just had the bag and I wanted to use it up. So it tastes different. It's not as sweet as if I had used granulated sugar, but it's still really good. And it'll be really, really good on yogurt in the morning with the homemade granola that I made last week. You guys, if you notice in the background, I still have a sink full of peaches. We have so many. So if you think of another way for me to preserve peaches, other than canning them in a pressure cooker, I am scared of my pressure cooker, truthfully. So not that method, but if you have another method that I should use for these beautiful, very tasty peaches, let me know. I've already made a peach pie, and I'll probably make a peach cobbler, and maybe I'll dehydrate some more. Unless you guys have great ideas, please share them. I would love a new way to preserve our harvest from the backyard. I just want to talk a moment about enjoying motherhood. I feel like I was in survival mode for so long that I just wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying being a mom. I wasn't enjoying the daily routines and the things that I had to accomplish, and I just also wasn't doing a very good job. Our systems weren't working, and I sometimes didn't have a system. And so going through that season of this is really hard has put life into perspective for me, and I feel like it is such a huge blessing to have these younger boys that were kind of a surprise for our family, that they've joined our family, and it feels like a gift to be a different kind of mom for them and for my older kids who are still around just at school all day, to be a different kind of mom than I have been. I get to choose every day to love this beautiful life, love the things that I get to experience during the day, the activities I get to do, the things I get to learn. This is the first time I've ever made peach jam. It was fun to learn something new, and I am going to continue and do more. Maybe some apple butter when my apples come on. But it has been a pleasure, and it's been fun to spend time with each of my kids and try to take time to read with them and get to know who they are as cute little tiny human beings who have their own personalities and their own dynamics that they bring to our family. So moms, I want you to find something that you feel joy in your day. It could be, if you're commuting to work, a quiet commute to work where you can talk to God. If you're at home with your children, maybe enjoy their beautiful laughs even as they are being wild and crazy in the other room. God has given us such a beautiful gift of life, and every day is a chance for us to appreciate and see the beauty in it and enjoy the little moments like this. My cute little boys dancing, it was such a joyful day, and I hope that you also find the little moments of joy in your days.